When I speak at schools or anytime I'm speaking, like, we all go through life mountains. Like the life mountain of depression, the life mountain of grief, the life mountain of business owner, financial hardship, the life mountain of divorce, separation, like anxiety. Life to me is one big mountain. And so there really are those high moments. There's those valley moments where you're really low and you feel beat up and you feel like you're ready to throw in the towel. But there is a certain mindset that it takes. And it's simple. It's just, let me keep making this decision. No matter how hard it gets, let me keep making this decision. And so we're on a mission. It's called Mind Over Mountains. So you might hear Mind Over Matter. We talk about mind over mountains. And so you put your mind, it was my mind. It wasn't my body. My body gave up long before I reached the summit of that mountain. And so anytime there's an achievement or accomplishment, like, it's going to take more mental than physical. Mind over mountains.
God told me to start this podcast, and then he told me to call you. The time is now. You ready?
I got you, T. Let's do it.
Yo, family, welcome to another week of the Mental Locker Room Podcast. I am, of course, your boy, Dr. C, and let me go ahead and pass the rock to my wonderful co-host, Teach Johnson. How are you doing this afternoon?
Man, I am so blessed. I'm so blessed. I'm excited about today's guest. One, like, at church, we're going through this series, the faith series, and we're breaking down like the three components of faith, which are believing, speaking, and acting. And today, guess what? We unpacked speaking. And guess what? We have one of my favorite speakers that I've ever come across as our guest today. So I'm super excited, see.
Hey, and I'm excited with you. I've been able to watch this person's rise through the speaking circuit. She reached out. Ooh, Tia, when did we talk? About 3 years ago. And she had a workshop in Fort Worth back when I was in Texas. My money was real funny at the time, but I knew in my heart of hearts that our paths would cross again. I just knew it, right? I was like, I can't take this opportunity, but the next time she has an opportunity, it's going to be a bigger one. And I'm going to have no choice but to scrounge up the money if need be. And now we get the chance to really dive into your story. So before we give her the time that she deserves, I got to, get our new listeners acclimated. If you ain't never listened to the podcast, the Mental Locker Room Podcast is a space for former athletes turned entrepreneurs and industry leaders to inspire athletes to find identity, purpose, legacy, and mindset beyond the game. And today, we are talking to an absolute force, y'all, Miss Tia Banks. She is not just a former athlete, but she's also a mountaineer. That's folks who climb mountains for people that was like me at first, like, what is that? All right. So she's a mountain climber, a former flag football pro. All right. In the Olympics, when we don't even got regular football in the Olympics. All right. She's a transformational speaker and has turned resilience into a movement. From the day a career-ending injury shifted her path to standing at the top of Mount Kilimanjaro, Tia has shown what it means to turn setbacks into summits. Through her Mind Over Mountains framework, she has impacted more than 60,000 students and educators, completely changing the culture in schools and communities across the country. She's also the director of chapters for Eric Thomas's Next Level Speakers Academy, and she's building the next generation of voices while climbing her own 7 volcanic summits. Her story is about grit, growth, and game-changing perspectives, and today we are blessed for her to bring that energy right here to the Mental Locker Room Podcast. How are you doing this afternoon, Tia?
Man, Dr. C, Tish, I'm excited to be on this call with y'all. And I think this conversation is going to add so much value into the student athlete community and the community of business owners and entrepreneurs. So let's get it.
Let's get it. Tia, again, thank you so much for just just being graceful enough to join us here in the Mental Locker Room. And we are so grateful to have.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Let's roll. Let's get it. So you've been super, super open about an injury, I believe a knee injury, that kind of shifted the trajectory of your athletic career. As C was just talking about, kind of take us back to that moment, what was going through your mind. And if anything, was there a belief that ended that day and one that took place and started a whole new belief in yourself?
Man, that's great. So if we go back, not just to what ended my sports football career, but like
Mm-hmm.
before that, I played basketball. So I played
Yeah.
professional basketball in France and Spain. And so I've always been an athlete. Like I was a soccer player. Soccer actually was my first love. I was better at
Mm.
soccer than anything. A track athlete. And I'll never forget my dad said the only way that you're going to go to college is if you get a scholarship. Well, truth be
Mm.
told, I was not the brightest crayon in the box. Okay. Like school
Yeah.
was like, I just had to go because I wanted to play sports. That's the only reason why I
Yeah.
went to school. Not that I made like terrible grades, but I was just an
Mhm.
average student.
Yeah.
Like C, I
Yeah.
was fine with the C. I didn't try to go above and beyond. And
Mm.
so I knew the only way that I could get my ticket into college was playing basketball or
Mm.
playing a sport. And so my senior year, I got recruited by a Division II university, Midwestern State. And actually, no, I'm lying to you. It was West Texas A&M. Y'all, I've been through
Okay.
3 different schools, 3 different colleges, okay?
Whew.
So it's the journey of an athlete, right? Like in your mind, you think you really good until them recruiters, like they not pulling up like as good as you think you are. So
Yeah.
like it's a little bit different now because back then, like we didn't have social media. I didn't have like a whole
Yeah.
bunch of highlight reels. You had to send tapes,
Mhm.
so VHS tapes. So
Hey, yo, not the VHA.
senior year, I got recruited by West Texas A&M, and I was thankful. But I don't know if y'all know anything about West Texas A&M. It's a D2 school. It's like their biggest thing there. They have a canyon. It's the second largest canyon in the world, or
Okay.
I think in the United States, right next to the Grand Canyon. It's the second largest canyon, but that's it.
Well, yeah, ain't nothing
Okay.
in West Texas but oil. It's just the
Nothing.
oil field.
Oil, and it smells like cows. And you really see the tumbleweed. Like, it was a culture shock because I'm in Dallas, Fort Worth, right? So city
Yeah.
life, it was very different. My
Mm.
freshman year, I had to redshirt. My grades were not
Okay.
good enough, so I had to
Mm.
redshirt. I was in like
Wow.
the most remedial college math, algebra,
Mm.
and my very first college math test grade was like a 45.
Oh man.
I'm
sound
just
like me
keeping it
for
real.
real.
Like grades were not
Yeah.
important to me until coach said, if you don't get your grades up, you're not playing.
Can't play. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it.
Who's good at
Woo.
math? Like,
So
who on
Tia-
the team?
T was that teammate that I would have been. Get your
Stu-
grades right. We need
Student.
you.
Student
was
athlete.
me.
It's a reason the student comes before the athlete. Because if you ain't the student part, you can't be the athlete part.
Tia was the teammate I would have been choking.
Was that
See,
teammate? You know,
I got you.
I don't think I
Hey.
had the right kind of guidance,
Mm.
because it was it was math. That was my downfall. Math was my downfall. I go to my
Mhm.
parents, Dad, Mom, can you help me with math? I'm not good at math. Mom, can you help me? I'm not good at math. We're not good at math. So now they're not good at math. I'm not good at math. And I don't like
Yeah.
to ask questions because when I was raised, I was told you don't ask questions. You just do what I say.
Yeah.
So, yeah, college was an interesting ride, but I ended up graduating from Midwestern State.
Okay.
I got
Praise
my
God.
bachelor's degree, and after I graduated, I went to play professional basketball, and I played some
Mhm.
semi-pro basketball.
Yeah.
Y'all, I knew I was going to be an athlete forever. Like, You could
Yeah.
not tell me otherwise. I knew I was going to be an athlete forever. I'm like, why are people retiring? Like, I'm going to play until
What is
these
that?
wheels fall off. I figured I was going to be 60, 70 before I retired.
Uh,
I
Granny
came
Tia,
back. Yeah, okay. Granny Tia
like Uncle
shooting
Drew.
threes.
Uncle Drew.
So I came back from overseas, came back to the US because I wasn't really making like a lot of money
Mm,
playing overseas. And so
yeah.
I came back, I played like semi-pro ball. And then one of my teammates was like, "Hey, you want to play flag football?" I'm like, "Sure." You know, athlete, we always looking for the next thing. I wanted something more. Okay, I've been playing
Yeah.
basketball forever. Let me try this new thing called flag football.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more popular now, but at the time, like the women's team I played on, we were the only like a handful of female flag football players, and we would play against the
Mm,
men. So it'd
mm,
be like 7-on-7, and it's all women, and then we're playing against the men, and we're winning, and we're beating them. And I traveled the country. I traveled all over playing this sport that I loved. And at the
yeah.
time, like we would have to pay. You have to pay for your fees. You got to pay for your travel, pay for your uniforms. And so,
Mm,
like, you make the investment. And it wasn't until I would say like 2020, I was at the height of my career, like the
mm,
height of my flag football career. I
mm,
got accepted to play for, actually to try out for Team USA in Chula Vista, California. And they
mm,
flew me out. I tried out top 24 receivers in the country. Now, I didn't make the team, but after not making that team, I got invited to another USA team. It was like a
okay.
secondary USA team, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And we were going to travel to like Panama. And I got accepted to play on that team. I'm about to make the most money I would ever make playing this sport.
Yeah.
And then bam, I'm
Mm,
in this tournament. I play in this tournament and I'm the linebacker. Okay. And I wanted a sack. The quarterback had the ball. She was in the end zone. I wanted the sack so bad. We were literally on the 5-yard line from where the end zone was. The
mm,
quarterback snaps the ball. I sprint towards the quarterback full force. She does this jab move to me. Boom. I stop, turn around, and I hear a pop.
oof.
And that was that. That was my knee. So I hop off the field and you know, I'm smiling right now, but I was very depressed.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we all know as athletes, your identity is tied to that sport.
Yep.
And I'm well into adulthood, like well into it.
Mm, yeah.
So I always like to say to student athletes, like, give your why some options. I always knew I would be an athlete forever. I didn't
Mm,
give my why am I on this earth, more
mm,
options other than being an athlete. And so the journey went from there. But yeah, that was traumatizing for me at that time.
mm. Give your why more options. I love it. I
Put it on a
love it.
shirt.
And you've been super open with that of struggling to find your identity after that outside of the game and the trajectory that your life went on. And man, that's crazy. Like I had a college teammate after we graduated, she went on to play tackle football. I'm like, ain't no way. I ain't listening. So you would expect, some injuries and things there. But for everything to shift in a flag football game where you're getting ready to make the most money you've ever made in a sport, you're doing what you love, and for it to all drop and come crashing down in a sense, but building up at the same time. But you can't see it at the time.
Oh,
You can't see it at the time.
no, when we feel physical or even emotional hurt, like you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel
Can't.
after that.
Nope. What
Yeah.
It's
like?
like it is in that right there moment, like this is devastating.
Yeah.
And I just want to I want to respect like my journey of like
Mhm.
it's okay to be devastated.
Yeah.
Like and even at the time people will tell you you're going to be fine. Like I called my coach. I'm like, "Coach, I'm depressed. I'm upset. I'm not going to be able to play anymore. He was like, you're fine. Like,
Mm-hmm.
he just affirmed me, and he was just like, you're going to heal. You know, you can play again.
Mm-hmm.
And I could after that, but not to the level that I
Yeah.
wanted to.
Mhm.
It had done enough mental damage. And so I had to go through a series of personal development,
Mm-hmm.
something I had never done before. And so I would ask family and friends, I'd ask like my teammates, like, what could you see me doing besides being an athlete? I had a regular 9 to 5 job that I didn't care for, but I'm
Mm.
like, this is not like my purpose. And if being an athlete isn't my purpose, I need to find it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. Now, you talked about being a multi-sport athlete. Do any of those, the discipline, the resilience, does any of that still show up today in like your day-to-day, your daily routine? Just being an athlete?
You know, being an athlete has been one of the greatest gifts to my life, because there is a natural like competitiveness about me. And I can bounce back from hard times a little bit quicker than the person that hasn't been an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
One thing in my family, we talk about suck it up. You know, my dad used to always be like, TT, suck it up. Like, I'm like, Dad, my nose is broken. I'm 6. Like, come on, I can't suck this up, but
Man,
growing
that's
up,
yeah.
in sports, you hear suck it up, be
Mhm.
mentally tough.
Yep.
And
Yep.
so
Mm.
I believe that was kind of like a gift and a curse. Like, to be told to suck it up, you just kind
Yep.
of sweep things under the rug. You mean stop crying? You mean don't show when I feel this physical and emotional pain? You mean act like
Yeah.
it's not there? And
Yeah.
then you become a really poor communicator because you're not in tune with your feelings or your emotions or
Mm.
the truth of what that pain has done to you.
Yeah.
And so I will say I'm very good at sucking things up, and sometimes it's bad because it's like I will burn myself out
Mhm.
if I don't bring some self-awareness to how I feel. And so,
Yeah.
thankfully, in my journey of being a resilience expert, thankfully, in my journey of just growing, mentally growing,
Mm-hmm.
I've learned how to be more aware of like, how does my body feel? How does my mind feel? Am I
Yeah.
tired today? And if I
Yeah.
am, if somebody says, how are you? I will say that I'm a bit tired. I'm a little stressed, but I'm going to keep,
Yes.
because I don't want to act like everything is roses and rainbows, because life
Mhm.
is not about that. But can we reframe it to something where it's like not so negative, but more so optimistic? Yes.
Yeah. 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 And that's one of my favorite things about you, Tia. Like, anytime I ask how you're doing, you tell me exactly how you're doing. And that's just made me like, I do that same thing. Like, be careful. Now, usually I'm in a pretty good mood, but if I'm tired, I'm probably not around people. But when I am, however I'm feeling, I'm going to let you know. And so I appreciate that about your personality as well. Do you ever find yourself, as you're speaking to different students and educators and even some athletes and things like that, do you ever find yourself, because you went through that experience of the suck it up, the tough it out, do you challenge that thinking at all, of what mental toughness actually means, or what maybe a coach wants it to mean, but what's actually coming across? Because
Yeah. So I do challenge that. I do challenge the thinking of what it means to just suck
hmm
it up, because it can
yeah,
be toxic, but it can
yeah,
also be like a tactful thing if we use
yeah,
it properly. So, what
absolutely.
if sucking it up was like a strategy of rest?
hmm
Mhm.
Like, what if sucking it up was, again, communicating in a way that's not toxic positivity? It's real, but it's
Yeah,
also like, yeah, this workout is painful.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm tired of these 2-a-days. Like, or I feel very stressed. I'm a freshman in college and I'm trying to learn how to balance all this independence. I've got these sports, and now I need to figure out how I can also do my schoolwork, my classwork. And so, like, let's keep it real. these things can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
But what tools can you put in place to overcome them? Can
Mhm.
you put some tools in place to overcome them? Yes. Now
sure.
colleges have so many resources, especially for the student athlete.
Oh yeah.
Submerge yourself into community. Submerge
Mhm.
yourself into having those hard conversations with your coach and
Mhm.
see how you can get some help, some therapy, some counseling. So yeah.
Some
Yeah.
help, some therapy, some counseling. Boy, look at
Yeah.
here. I feel
Yeah.
like it's people that ain't played sports need to think about that.
Yeah.
And that reframe, I really appreciate that reframe because I think I'm on the opposite end of Tish. I'm probably not gonna tell you how I'm feeling. I think, to be honest, moment of transparency for my strategy call the other day. I think that was the first time I was actually honest with Tish about what I've been going through and how I've been feeling because I was taught the push through, right? To suck it up and then push through. And I love the way you frame it because what you're not saying, hey, suck it up. You got a real bad injury. It's a bone poking out your leg. Stop crying. It's no, there's a bone poking out your leg. It hurts. Cry right now. Then
Yes.
what do we do next, right?
Yes.
And that's been your story. After your injury, you could have just sat in that depressive state, right? I love you being honest. ACL is a mental injury after we get it fixed because now you worried about you gonna ever hear that pop again, right? You don't want to hear that pop again, and that's the hard thing to get through. Yet you chose to climb one of the tallest mountains in the world. Why mountains? And specifically, why that mountain as your first big challenge?
Man, Dr. C, that's a great question. So why mountains? Because nobody in my family had ever hiked mountains. In fact, nobody hikes in my family. But remember, I told you there was a personal development thing that I had to go through for myself to identify, like, what else could I be doing besides sports? And so I went through like a series of Gallup surveys. So like Strength Finder. I figured, like, what are some of my other strengths? I did a lot of journaling, a lot of prayer, and a lot of meditation. And I remember I came out of a meditation one day and I just went straight to my journal. And this came out of nowhere. I would say it definitely was God led, right? I wrote, I want to climb the highest freestanding mountain in the world. I didn't know where it was. I didn't know how high it was. But it just came out of nowhere. And so, Kilimanjaro is the highest standalone mountain in the world. It's 19,341 feet in the sky. And on the side of my face, it might be hard to see, but I have a birthmark. And my birthmark has been said to be in the shape of Africa.
It is.
So, like, the highest freestanding mountain in the world is in Africa, and it's on the side of my face. So sometimes, like, success really does leave clues.
Yeah, serendipity.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I wrote it down, and now I'm going to take actions towards it. Let me do some research. Where is this mountain? Oh, it's in Africa. That's really high. How am I going to get there? I need to fly. Okay. Who's going to lead me up this mountain? And so you got to go through like a series of probing questions. I went through a series of questions like, who's going to climb with me? Because I don't want to do this by myself. I've never done this before. Who's going to lead me up this mountain? Are there any like licenses or insurance? It's just questions that led me up this mountain before I was on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
It's preparation. And when you think about life, like, we just need, sometimes before we jump into the business, we got to have a business plan.
Yeah.
We got to be prepared. And so I was doing my best to learn, how do I need to prepare my body, mind, and spirit to do something that I've never done before and be successful at it?
Ooh, hey, that's a word. Like, doing something you've never done before. You did your research, but I think the big question that you ask, who's going to lead me up this mountain? Who's done this so that I don't got to struggle up here by myself where someone else can help me, support me, that has done it before? Like, I think that is one of those messages that transcends just mountaineering. Like, there's somebody right now listening to this call, got a wonderful idea, want to be the first person in their family to do something. And the first step they should probably take is try to find somebody who's done it. Talk to them. Talk to them. right? See what nuggets they can give you. And sometimes that requires networking across, not always up, but who was in the same spot, but has done this thing before. I love that idea. So when you did it, or as you started thinking about it, or when you're about to climb that mountain, it's the night before. What mental preparation helps you get through to that next day?
That's really good. Because it took me years before I actually climbed the mountain. It took me years in preparation. So like I financially prepared. I started working like an extra job. So I invited some of my best friends, 20 of like my best friends. I'm like, send an email. I'm excited. Y'all, let's climb the highest freestanding mountain in the world. Let's do it a year from now, right? So because we need time to prepare. We need time to prepare.
Yeah.
You ain't lying.
Okay, because people will overcommit and underdeliver. Like,
yeah, those trips that never make it out the group chat, I'm picking
never.
up. Yeah.
So I'm like, y'all, we got a year to prepare. Let's give up $100 a week. Like, I'm coming up with these ideas. And I just knew, like, everybody was going to come. I'm sending videos on YouTube. Look at this person. This is an 80-year-old woman climbing Kilimanjaro. If she can do it, we can do it. I'm being motivational.
Yeah.
Before I even started being a motivational speaker.
Them the reps. He's getting reps
so,
hands to you.
Reps. I was getting them reps. Didn't even know I was via email. So I'm hyping everybody up. Meanwhile, I'm also hyping myself up. People stopped responding. I was like, hey, y'all still want to go? We still in this? So it ended up only being one person that came with me. And just one out of all the 20. And I don't, one of my really good friends at the time said, you'd be lucky if you get 10% up that mountain. Who's going with you? They'll be lucky if they even get halfway up the mountain. And this is we're friends now, right? We were friends then, but this person was projecting how they felt about doing something that they had never done onto me. Yep. And it scared them. And I'm like, you're being negative. Bye.
Yeah. Don't need you on the mountain with me.
You don't need that.
Can't go.
Everybody can't go, Dr. C. Everybody can't go, and everybody's not supposed to go with you.
Yeah.
That part.
So
that part.
Talk that talk.
Preparation. I kept preparing. I'm like, well, whoever comes, I'm still going. God put this on my heart. God put this on my spirit. Like, I'm not giving up on this. I'm not going to let fear get in the way. I hired a mental performance coach. I hired a breathing coach because I don't know what it's like to be on top of a 19,000 foot mountain. And it's 50% less oxygen than we are here in sea level. So I had to prepare my body. And so I would tell you, asked, what was it like the night before? I was so already well prepared for that mountain. Like, I was fine. The night before. I'm like, let's do it. It's that adrenaline rush. It's like the night before the game where you holding your basketball and you sleeping with your basketball and you're visualizing, you hitting the game winning shot. Like, that's what it felt like. It was just like, now I'm visualizing. I'm excited. I can't wait. All this preparation, and I get to apply it. And the next day, we fly to JFK Airport from Texas. JFK Airport, that night we were going to fly out to Africa. And when I got to New York, I got really tired. Like, the kind of tired as if I was a newborn baby. And I'm sweating. I got the chills, but I'm hot and I'm cold. And then I get this cough. The cough comes out of nowhere. The back of my throat is on fire from this cough. The cough is so intense. It's like erupting like a volcano. And so I am getting sick, y'all. My nose is running, and now I'm on this plane on this flight headed to Africa. I'm gonna have to go through customs. This is when they're doing like the COVID test, the nose swab. I'm like, do I have COVID? I had
Mm.
all the symptoms.
Oh, wow.
So thankfully, we get to customs. They give me that COVID test, and it was negative, but my symptoms got worse. And so now I'm on this mountain. Day one, they had to give me oxygen. So it wasn't the night before where I could have mentally psyched myself out about this mountain. It was
Yeah.
the moment that I stepped on that plane to Africa where it was like, okay, you really want to climb this mountain?
Yeah.
Let's see what you made of. Test before the test.
That's so good. That's so good. Because all the preparation, like that's what it looks like to go all in. Make a decision. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going all in. So you're preparing for it, because you could have so many times in between been like, I ain't got the money for this. Can't do it. I'll wait. I'll do it someday. But no, you started preparing for it, and it took years to get to that moment. And even then, you got people that are projecting their fears onto you. So many times you could have pulled back, and then you're still going, pushing for it. You get on this flight, and here comes this sickness, and it's like, no, are you really going to do this? Like, how bad do you want this? What does this actually mean to you? And you just kept going.
That's real.
That's
And the
so
keep
good.
going part is the mental.
Mhm.
The keep going part wasn't the physical yet, because my body was ready for this, right? The
Yeah.
keep going part was mental. Like, I'm sick, I'm coughing, I can't breathe, I'm scared now. Nobody else is struggling. Now I'm comparing myself because I'm this world-class athlete. Ain't nobody else struggling. Why do I have to
Yeah.
go through this?
Mm.
Now I'm battling with doubt.
Yeah.
I'm battling with,
Yeah.
like, what would it look like if I did give up?
Mhm.
Like, my
Mm.
family's not going to be disappointed. I'm here. They ain't never done this before. So now I'm like almost trying to find reasons to make it okay to not keep deciding. And that's when I was like, no.
Yeah.
That ain't
Because
nothing but the truth.
somebody's sitting there waiting on it to be like, I told you so.
Yep, exactly.
You
Exactly.
and you're an athlete, so it's like, this is getting done.
No, it definitely was getting done. And so I had to keep making that decision. They administered oxygen to me, put the mask on my face. And the next day, like, I got up and I just decided, put your backpack on, keep taking steps, and we're hiking for 8 hours, 8 hours a day. It's getting colder. Day 3, keep going, keep deciding. Day 3, I had the worst headache of my life. And I don't know if you know this, but when you get mountain sickness, like, headaches don't go away with Tylenol. Like, it's a whole different kind of headache. So I'm battling with coughing everywhere. I'm losing my breath. And now I have this massive headache that's all in my face. Keep deciding, Tia.
Every day.
Wake up another day. Keep deciding. Backpack on. Keep going. There was a guy, he was from South Africa, and he was like, Tia, if you can climb this mountain, I know I can. He was like, because you look rough. I'm like, listen, I look like what I've been through, okay?
Not what you've been through.
Man. Oh, man. So, with all this, because at the time you don't know, you're going through it, and I don't think that you knew at that time you were going to be, this big motivational or, transformational speaker. You're not thinking about that, but you had to go through what you went through and the way that you went through it so that you can be doing what you're doing today. And so you integrate, these narratives and your story from mountaineering, throughout your mountaineering career. How do you kind of weave that in when you're talking about culture and school transformation?
Yeah, so, yeah, and I do want to say I made it to the summit after seven days. I made it to the top, and I came back down, and I was still
Completion.
sick 14 days after. Somebody said, will you ever do this again? And I'm like, absolutely not. Right, that's what I thought. But we climb
Yeah.
mountains. We don't climb them for ourselves.
Mm,
Like I don't climb for me, right?
Mm,
And I reached a whole nother level of seeing what I was made of. And I think that's what the greatness of sports does.
yeah.
It brings out like a greatness within you, but mountains do something that sports can't do.
Mhm.
It gets you higher than you could ever go, connected to the source in a way that you can never be connected to. And so when I speak at schools or anytime I'm speaking, like we all go through life mountains. Like the life mountain of depression, the life mountain of grief, the life mountain a business owner, financial hardship, the life mountain of divorce, separation, like anxiety. Life to me is one big mountain. And so there really are those high moments. There's those valley moments where you're really low and you feel beat up and you feel like you're ready to throw in the towel. But there
Mm,
is a certain mindset that it takes, and it's simple. It's just let me keep making this decision, no matter how hard it gets. Let me keep making this decision. And
every
so
single day.
yeah, every day. So we're on a mission. It's called Mind Over Mountains. So you might hear Mind Over Matter. We talk about mind over mountains. And so you put your mind, it was my mind. It wasn't my body. My body gave up long before I reached the summit of that mountain. And so anytime there's an achievement or accomplishment, like it's going to take more mental than physical.
Mhm.
Mind over mountains.
Wow. And that, like, you're just talking about even like climbing those mountains and it being like this, like a spiritual experience, right? Um, and that's so true. And you just keep talking about just deciding every day. And that is, in a lot of people's faith walk and everybody's faith walk, like you got to wake up, if you're a Christian, whatever, your religion or your belief or whatever it is. For me and my life, and I know in your life as well, like you got to wake up every single day and choose Jesus
Yeah.
every day, even when you're enduring through different trials, whatever mountains that you're facing. You got to wake up and choose him every single day. And that's so powerful. That's so powerful. Now your work, you've been able to touch and reach 60,000 plus students in over 30 school districts.
Yeah. And
That,
educators. Yep.
yeah, that's not a little bit. And that's not a little bit. How do you measure that impact, beyond inspiration, beyond the motivation to actual change?
Yeah, so it's resilience training, right? So we
Mm,
we teach schools and organizations on how to build resilience within their students and within their educators. And
yeah,
so there's skills. There's the internal and external variables. We talked about community. That's actually a
yeah.
resilience skill. Like learning how to lean into your community is
Mhm.
it's necessary if you want to beat chronic absenteeism, like
Yeah.
leaning into your community. It's necessary if you want to increase student engagement. And so based on our trainings, we've been able to increase student engagement, help burned out teachers, and then help with programs that go against chronic absenteeism that help prevent that.
Mm. So
uh,
important.
yes. As a
The work, the
former K-12
necessary work.
teacher, man, we don't use our community enough, right? Uh, the strangest thing about schools to me is always the adversarial energy between the school, the kids, and the parents. And it's like if we all acted like the community that we were, we could put our heads together and solve a lot of these issues. We've I don't know when we moved away from community. I'm pretty sure somebody wrote something about it at some point that I could probably pick up and read. But like that's really where it is where can the school as a community is what encourages and influences students to want to go. They don't feel like they
Yeah.
belong here, right? That's why they don't want to come here. And
Yeah.
that's a question I think has been vexing educators. How do we get them here, want to be here, and then to learn? Um, but with all of the speaking that you do, because you are in high demand. If folks didn't know, right? Again, the fact we was able to get Tia here, Right, like people trying to hear your message. You just recently spoke at the TASA conference in Texas, and you specifically spoke about compassion fatigue and burnout. What message did you bring into that space of advocates and educators? And was there any pushback or aha moments that you heard from the folks that was in the room?
Yeah, so the same message, my motto is pole pole. You can see it in my shirt, right? So when we're hiking the mountain, pole pole, everyone would say pole pole, which it means slowly, slowly in Swahili. And I translate that to run your own race, go your own pace, pole pole. So, we built like a framework out of pole pole. And it talks about leaning into community. It talks about how do you progress forward? What are some things that you can do to build resilience, like getting in solitude? Spending time in solitude is actually something that helps you reduce your stress, and it helps you go back in with a little more clear mindset when you're in the classroom or in the workspace. Is owning your journey. And so one of my mentors, Jeremy Anderson, he'll say, control the controllables. Well, I say own your journey. It's the same thing, right? So take initiative. No more placing blame on the economy or the funding freezes or the budget cuts or the fact that maybe some parents aren't as involved in their kids' work or in their schoolwork. What can we do to take ownership of helping these students graduate? What can we do to take ownership to be more resourceful when there are budget cuts? And so who can we partner with or collaborate with, right? So that's owning your journey. And then empowering your people. So a story that I like to share when it comes to empowering your people is I don't just hike mountains now by myself. I take groups. And so earlier this year, I took a group of amateur hikers to climb the highest mountain in Texas. Okay, it's about an 8,700 foot mountain. And no one had ever hiked a mountain this high before. I've hiked that mountain twice. And so because I've been there, now I can help someone else get there. Now I can help someone else do something that no one in their family has done. I got everyone to the top of that mountain. And when everyone came down, every single person said this was life-changing. I will never forget this experience. And to me, that's what the mountains do. So when we talk about empowering your people in the educational space, like if somebody is stressed at home, like how can you carry some of the weight that they're carrying so that they can keep climbing this mountain of education, right? And so empowering your people, the pole pole framework, this is what we implement in schools and organizations.
I love that. I love that. I always say I have this motto in life, like you always want to have someone that you can go through the journey with. You want to have a mentor, somebody that's been there and they want to get where you're going. And you want to have a mentee, somebody that, that you can bring along with you and show them how to get there. And you were able to accomplish all of those things through mountaineering, through speaking and everything, man. So kudos to you, Tia, of living that out in life. And that's so important because sometimes we can be selfish with our gifts. We can be selfish with our experiences when, like you said, they're not for us. They're for we're going to experience them. We're going to overcome them. We're going to go through it. We're going to endure. But it's about when you get through it, who are you bringing along with you? Are you turning around and reaching back? And so, man, I just thank you for your service, whether it's climbing mountains or with the students or whatever. You could have tapped out at, I can't do this algebra. But now you
ready.
You could have tapped out right there. But no, man, look how God's using you. I love it. Now we talked about Jeremy Anderson. Jay, shout out to Jay and the entire Next Level team at the Next Level Speakers Academy. Tia is the director of all of the chapters.
Yeah.
What do we have? 11?
Yeah, there's 11 right now.
Yeah, right now. You hear that?
Yeah.
Because we gonna grow.
we gonna have chapters on top of mountains. You know what I'm saying?
Don't play with me. They knew who to put in that spot. Y'all coming too. Dr.
Yeah.
C, we live close to each other. I'm bringing you up a mountain.
So Tia, you
Yeah,
did know this.
yeah.
I moved. I'm in DC now.
It don't matter.
But
I will
I'm trying to
DC.
go. I tell you what I told Tish. Wherever we trying to go, I'm trying to be there yesterday. Just sign me up. Sign me up.
Yeah. But no, amazing. I'm a success team coach with Next Level. So again, shout out. So Tia, like, are there any systems? Just jumping in, diving into your director role. Are there any systems or any structure that you wish before that you implement into your own business now that you wish you would have known on day one of all
Like
this?
systems as a speaker or a system like as a director?
As a director, as a leader, as a speaker within your own business.
So we're talking about like CRM type systems or help get. I'm asking the question. I don't want to sound dumb because I want to make sure I answer this question.
There are no dumb questions.
No, that's not Dr. C. There are some dumb questions.
No, there are poor questions. Usually, if I've already given you the information that you asked me for, that's a poor question because it's been answered.
I tell you that after the show, what the
it can't make the cut, huh?
No, I'll tell you after the show what the second part of that statement in my brain is. But no,
You want to know that?
I will tell you.
So systems wise, the reason why I've been successful or why I feel like I'm successful when it comes to being a leader, not just in my business, but even within the Next Level Speakers Academy. Before I became a motivational speaker, I worked in corporate America. Like I had a 9-to-5 job and I worked for an auto finance company. And that role like put me in a position to be self-led. Like I was selling cars at an auction. My boss, he lived in Canada. I didn't hear from him. Like, so I was in charge of my own day, in charge of my own journey, in charge of my own reporting. And so like one thing is I learned to be more curious versus when I was younger, don't ask questions, just do what I say. I learned to be more curious, to seek out information so that I could be more knowledgeable, right? So I would say that's one thing, right? Is be curious. Ask a lot of questions.
Yes.
Be nosy. Man, some of the smartest people know everything because they just are nosy. So I had to learn to be nosy. And then that helped me be more self-led. I'm very structured. Like I have structure and because I'm an athlete, I also have a high level of discipline.
Yeah.
I can be very disciplined. And so that helps me have like a routine in my day. Like I have structure, I have a routine. It's like, even when I was a speaker and I had my business, I had to be very disciplined. I'd wake up at 4 a.m. I'd work my business from 4 until 11:30. I moved my schedule back from work so that I could work from 11:30 to 8:30 at night. And in between there, I'm taking meetings on my lunch break. I was very structured with my calendar and my routine. And so I would definitely say like having that structure in my life helps me be a good leader. But also like I think about who would I listen to? Like I want to be the person that I've had some great leaders in my life. Yeah. And so I want to mimic like who I would be willing to follow. So yeah. Does that answer your question? I don't know if I answered it or not, but
yes.
We talk about this. I'm like CRM, HubSpot. I have HubSpot, right?
Oh, that's 4 a.m. wake up.
Reminders, that's the system, like Google Drive, all of that.
Yeah, and I mean, you're taking on more and more responsibility, but you're handling it all. And that goes back to the days of you being an athlete. Like, people don't know, like, we're so used to routine. Like, we know we got practice, we want a class, we got, individual workouts. Like, we know, what's going on, and we got a calendar to it. And so when we go out into the real world, it's probably going to be that same way for most of us. Some of us lose it. But that's how I am. C knows, like, every little thing is on my calendar, and that's just how it has to be for me. Because like you can get lost in the day. And I think there's definitely, room for grace and everything like that. Things come up. You might miss something or whatever, but even then, marking it on the calendar, like, didn't get this done. Let's prioritize this, for the next day or whatever. No, yeah. So I love that. I love that, and you're killing it.
Even joy, Tish, like even
Yeah,
joy. I
yeah,
Yesterday I had time to go through Eventbrite, and I'm like, what events do I want to do the
yeah,
rest of this year? I'm like, ooh, Brandy and Monica are gonna be in concert. Let me put that on the
Yeah,
calendar,
got to
right?
make the
I
calendar.
got a
Got to.
reminder when to purchase the ticket. I'm like, I've been wanting to do some glass blowing, so like I will put it on my
yeah.
calendar.
See, we were coming because Tia and I, so we went from the Next Level conference in June to turn right back around and go to TD Jakes in Dallas at the Good Soul Forum. By day 2, Tia's like, I'm tired. I'm gonna go home and rest so I can get ready for Coco Jones. She was
As you should. As you
she was ready. Her birthday was coming up. I'm like, listen, that's how you got to do
Listen,
it.
I know what it feels like to burn out, and I think this is something that every student athlete needs to learn. I think this is something every business owner needs to learn, is like pay attention to your body.
Yes.
When I was working a full-time job, I was speaking. You get so numb to the routine, and one day I was on my way to work and I fainted. And I woke up and there were 4 first responders standing over me, taking my blood pressure. And I just screamed, crying. I didn't know what was happening. I started to have a panic attack. And there were little signs that were telling me, Tia, you are burned out because you're not going to hike. You haven't been exercising like you usually do. You're not eating well. You're hardly even eating at that. So, there were little signs that I was ignoring. And so we have to like find time to that's why I said, make rest a strategy. Like make rest a strategy so you can bring some mindfulness to be like, how am I feeling? I noticed like my lower back's hurting. Okay, it's time for a massage. Right?
Oh, you talking to somebody on the call who don't miss their massage, huh, T? Talking about scheduling. Ain't missing that massage.
It's not happening.
But like that burnout, Tia, like, thank you for like really emphasizing that for our listeners. Like, I cannot stress to y'all enough. Some of the best advice I got was from my father. And what he would always say is, if you don't listen to your body, it's going to talk to you in a tone that you're not going to have any choice but to listen to. So you keep pushing it off. Keep not eating well. Keep not working out. Like my check engine light came on a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And I met my doctor, and he was like, hey, get that weight up off you, boy. Put the burgers down. And I didn't want to hear it, but my check engine light say, all right. It's just it's the solid one right now, the one where you can ride for a little bit before you got to take it to the mechanic. You keep playing, it's gonna be that flashing one.
Yeah. And that's what I told C. I said, you know what? Because we have each other, we follow each other, we connect our fitness apps. I say, you know what? It brings me so much joy when I see your workouts come through.
I love that.
But yeah, we've been killing it. We've been killing it since that check engine light.
Ability, right?
We killing it.
Yeah. So go ahead, C.
Yeah, again, we really, really, really appreciate you sitting down and talking with us, Tia, the perspective that you've given to, current, student athletes, but you gave a bunch of nuggets for our folks who, like us, the game stopped a while ago, right? And we've been lifing. You gave us some stuff to help us life, because that disconnect between athlete and who we want to be moving forward, that's a space that our folks are really trying to get the game on, right? So with all the game that you got, where can our audience connect with you on social media, right? What's your website? Grab a copy of your book as well. Mind Over Mountains, if y'all missed that title. Mind Over Mountains.
So yeah, www.tiabanks.com Instagram, the Tia Banks, Facebook, the Tia Banks, TikTok. You can find me. I think it's the Tia Banks 1. YouTube, we have videos, but www.tiabanks.com for bookings. I just want to leave with saying this. Like, it is so important to give your why some options. There is a grieving process that I went through. I grieved the life that I thought I would have. So, like, it wasn't just an injury, it was grief. And even in speaking, I still now have to give my why some options. I can't put all my eggs in this speaking game. Who knows? At some point it might end, right? And I need to be ready and prepared to evolve. So give your why as many options as you can so that you can bounce back and be resilient when, not if, when life hits you with something unexpected.
It's a word. Put it on the shirt. Give your why some options.
That's it. Now, Tia, you've accomplished a lot. And I know you are Miss Humility. You should be proud of what you have accomplished.
Thank you.
What's next
I
for Tia Banks?
Yep.
What's next for Tia Banks and the Mind Over Mountains movement?
We're going to keep the movement going. I still climb mountains, so I'll be climbing one next month. My goal is to climb 7 volcanic summits on 7 continents, looking to climb one of those, another one this year in Australia. So that's one thing that I'm going to continue doing. There is a movement. I told you that I got some amateur hikers up the highest mountain in Texas. And so that movement is called We Climb. And so I'm going to do that again next year. And we're going to make that bigger and better. We're going to keep going into schools, helping teachers who are burned out, helping students that struggle with anxiety and depression. And we're going to make sure that they have the tools so that they can give their why options, so that they can be resilient, graduate, be business owners, like increase graduation rates, decrease dropouts. Like, we're on a mission to just empower the world. We're on a mission to empower the world, and that is a mountain, but I'm willing to climb it.
Gratitude.
Thank you. Yeah.
The Tia Banks.
Thank you.
Yes, we thank you so much, Tia, for coming through with us for us today. I know that this is going to be a hit, right? Because you decided to sit down with us, right? I know people are going to tune in to really listen to your very unique journey. So y'all know what time it is now. We about to wrap things up. Tell them people where they can find you at.
You can find me on all social media platforms at Teach Johnson 2. God's first, I'm second. If you would like to book me to speak to your student athletes on athlete transition or do any career planning workshops, you can book me at www.teachjohnson.com.
Hey, hit all the links, hit all the buttons, click the stuff in the description if you are looking for speakers in schools as well. And then subscribe to the channel. Still only got 26% of y'all subscribe. I know you're looking. So go ahead and just hit that subscribe button too, man. And if you do nothing else this week, you already know what's most important. Be good people. We'll see you next time.
AC, God told me to start this podcast, and then he told me to call you. The time is now. You ready?
I got you, T. Let's do it.